Shulchan Aruch in Hebrew. And yet within the thousands of rules, they say that if a team can't play because of religious reasons, we'll defer the game.
This is not just a sports story. This is a way of seeing American Jewish history.
And welcome in everyone to the Max Stern Athletic Center. I'm Yosef Silver alongside Ari Schaff as we get set for a rematch of a Skyline Conference semifinals between the Yeshiva Maccabees and the Manhattanville Valiants. Now last year Yeshiva went on the road to Manhattanville and ultimately fell, letting Manhattanville go to the Skyline Championships. Ari, if Yeshiva wants to advance, what do they got to do tonight differently?
Yeah, it's got to be a defensive effort for full 40 minutes. Full consistent effort from start to finish. And again, the Macs have been prone to these like 5-minute, 10-minute lapses in defense and effort. That can't happen tonight. They won't win this game.
Well, we're excited to announce that in addition to our regular broadcast of Max Live on the Max Live YouTube channel and MaxLive.com, we will also be broadcasting this season of Max Live on the Jewish Broadcasting Service, JBS. This means that virtually all our home games will be seen by a whole new nationwide audience, available on virtually every cable television provider and streaming on Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, and on their website. And now we're going to take it down to the PA announcer for a pregame ceremony and your anthems.
College campuses throughout the country. We appreciate מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, יוסף, משה, ואהרון, דוד ושלמה, ויברך, וישמור וינצור את השבויים, בתוך שאר אחינו בית ישראל, וסולים בצרה ובשביה. והאור שהקהל מסתכל בעבורם הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, ויוציאם בית חושך וצלמוות, ומושבותיהם ינתק, וממצוקותיהם יושיעם ושיבם מהרה לחיק משפחותיהם. ידעו לאדוני חסדו ונכבדיו לבני אדם, וקיים בהם דבר שכסו, ותהיה אדוני ישובים, ובאו ציון בריאה ושמחה סולם וראשם ששון ושמחה, ישיגו ונשאו ידום והנחה. In the merit of the prayers of this holy assemblage, who pray for them. May the blessed Holy One shower compassion over them and deliver them from darkness and strife, remove their bondage, deliver them from their afflictions, and return them speedily to their families and our home. In Olam. Amen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please remain standing as Bell School of Jewish Music, Pancer Eric Freeman will sing both U.S. and Israeli national anthems.
Let's go, Eric!
Oh, say, can you see by the water the
And we welcome you back into the booth after that pregame ceremony and the anthems. And we are here with tonight's starting lineups. Tonight's starting lineups are sponsored by Yeshiva University Admissions. As you start your college journey, make sure you visit us online to check out all the great virtual events and opportunities we have for YU students and how you too can be a Maccabee. Tonight's starting lineups for the Manhattanville Valiants. At guard, the 6'1 grad student, number 15, Tommy Latito. At guard, the 5'11 grad student, number 4, Tony Hastings. At guard, the 5'10 junior, number 30, Andrew St. Louis. At guard, the 6'1 junior, number 12, Jack Scanlon. At center, the 6'6 grad student, number 31, Ryan Giordano. And for the Yeshiva Maccabees, at guard, 6'2 grad student, number 32, Adi Markovich. At guard, the 6'1 junior, number 12, Zevi Salmon. At guard, the 6' junior, number 23, Max Zakheim. At forward, the 6'5 junior, number 15, Orson Jevsky. And at forward, the 6'7 sophomore, number 22, Dotan Bardachev. Ari, who are we looking out for on these rosters?
Yeah, I think we got to start with Manhattanville. I think number 30, Andrew St. Louis, is going to be a huge impact in this game. He wasn't a big factor the last time these two teams met. I expect Manhattanville to try to get him going early. He's had some big games the last few weeks. He's capable of scoring again from the basket while also shooting from the outside. So, again, he's a player that the Macs are going to need to keep their eye on throughout this game. And from Manhattanville, I expect them to try to get him going early.
Now, Ari, this isn't the first time that these teams have played each other this season. How have the last couple games went, and what can Yeshiva do this game to make sure that they come out on top?
Well, I think the biggest question is actually what Manhattanville going to do. Last time these two teams met, while you dominated the game from start to finish, especially on the defensive end. So now the pressure comes on to Manhattanville. What do they do to adjust to that? How do they adjust to that struggling that they showed a couple weeks ago? I think you're going to see a lot from the offensive end. You're going to see them throw a lot of different things at Yeshiva's defense, whether it's spacing the floor a little bit more, trying to get the ball to Giordano inside. They're going to try these things to see what sticks for them offensively. And for the Macs, they need to try to replicate that performance from 2 weeks ago. And it starts on the defensive end. We're going to keep talking about that because defense is going to be the key to this game. If they can get stopped and get out in transition, it's going to explode their offense and give them a very good chance to move on to the championship game.
Well, that's something we've seen with the Maccabees all season. Usually the offense can figure itself out, but it's really just about making sure the defense can step up and really contain the other team. As we're introduced to the starting lineups in the arena for Yeshiva, you see the return in the first couple games of Orson Jevsky and Max Zakheim. What extra elements does their return offer the team?
It just gives them a lot more depth. I mean, they may not be 100%, and Zakheim looked a little bit, didn't look like he had his full quickness and full, which is to be expected coming back from an injury, but their presence, their understanding of the game, it gives this team a lot more depth and a lot more ability to be, in a position where if one guy gets in foul trouble, they're not depleted, they're not, in trouble. So I think those guys, even if they don't, put up 20, 25 points, their impact is tremendous for this team.
And as Max Zakheim gets introduced to the fans, he gets a standing ovation coming back from injury, toughing it out.
These guys are tough players, both Orr and Max. They're not 100%, but it's playoff basketball. They're going to give it everything they got, and that's what the Max need.
And you also got to talk about Zevi when you're talking about that. Zevi, I think, especially with the absences of Orr and Max, has played over 35 minutes in almost every game this season, and he still gives it his all every time.
Yeah, and it's not even about the minutes necessarily. It's about the offensive load that he has to shoulder. When without Max, without Orr, the pressure on Zevi to score the bulk of the points really is heightened. So without having that pressure, Zevi's allowed to catch his breath a little bit and not be fatigued so early.
As Manhattanville and their road black comes off at the tip, St. Louis top of the key. St. Louis their time defending, brings it in, kicks it out for Hastings. Fans really into it to start. Giordano and Latito inside, kicks it out to St. Louis for three. And Sanchevsky pulls the board.
Yeah, we already see Manhattanville spacing the floor, sending some ball screens, trying to get Andrew St. Louis some looks early on. That time he didn't get it to go, but a sense of what Manhattanville is going to try to do this game.
Orr has it at the wing, and he draws the foul. going to get called on number 12, Jack Scanlon.
Yeah, with Giordano guarding Dotan, the next biggest guy on Manhattanville is 6'1", so Aura's got a significant size advantage on whoever's going to guard him tonight. So I look to see him be aggressive and try to get to the basket tonight.
As the ball's inbounded to Dotan, who gives it to Aura at the wing. Aura taking him inside, just like you said. And they're going to call that a jump ball, and the Max will retain possession.
Yeah, and again, I like the idea that he's aggressive, but he needs to be smart about when to attack the basket. At that time, Manhattanville defenders were waiting for that ball, for that drive. Collapsed on it, forced a jump ball.
As Zevi with it now, 10 seconds on the clock. Dotan in the corner, thought about it. Now he pulls, gets it to go! Big opening three from Dotan Bardachev as the Max take a 3-0 lead.
It's going to be huge in this game. If Dotan's able to draw Giordano out of the paint, it's going to open up so much for this team.
As that's Hastings with the pull-up jumper, and that one's good. Dotan bringing it down. At the wing. Giordano defending him. Dotan takes him inside. Couldn't get it to go. Or with the rebound, or puts it back up. And that's also no good. Rebound Latito. Latito pushing with St. Louis. St. Louis drives on Zackheim. And that one's good.
Yeah, and that's what we spoke about. Manhattanville taking the miss on the other end and immediately getting up the floor. St. Louis, tremendous finish, and he's going to look to do that throughout this game.
Zackheim inside, Latito defending, and the ball gets poked. Zackheim wanted a foul. Latito with it, inside to Giordano, who couldn't handle the pass, and that's going to be Max basketball.
Yeah, Max catching a huge break there. Turnovers have been a major Achilles heel for this Max team, and especially against Manhattanville. They're looking to get out in transition, so you need to make sure you take care of the basketball and not allow those easy transition opportunities.
Markovic with it. Gives it to Orr in the post. Up to Zevi. Dotan at the wing. Giordano all the way up defending him. Dotan loses the ball. It's picked up by Hastings. Hastings pushing. Latito with it. Good contest by Max Zackheim as he forces the miss. And Zackheim pushing the other way, and that's going to be a foul on Tony Hastings.
Yeah, tremendous job by Zackheim not fouling on the other end, keeping his hands straight up, contesting the shot without fouling. It's a huge job by him. Gets right back out in transition, draws the foul. Early impact from Max Zackheim coming off an injury.
Yeah, and it's not just about his offense, but especially the defense and intensity from Zackheim that makes him such a great player. As the floater couldn't go. Hastings with it. St. Louis now, taking Dotan inside, but pulls back out. Giordano, St. Louis, corner to Latito. Hastings for three, and Markovic with the rebound. Adi taking it down the court for the Max. Dotan at the wing. Picks up his dribble, gives it to Zevi. Samet with it. Latito defending him. Samet's going to take him inside. And that's going to be a jump ball. Possession going to Manhattanville.
Yeah, one thing that's not going to work against this team is just dribbling, trying to dribble, beat them off the dribble. It's not going to work. You need to pass the ball, look for those backdoor cuts, back screens, and then try to utilize those instead of dribble drives.
Yeah, Coach Steinmetz is going to take a 30-second timeout to talk this over with his team. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center as the Manhattanville Valiants lead Yeshiva 4-3. Ari, what have we seen so far in this game?
Yeah, very sloppy start to this game from both teams. I think, a lot of missed layups, turnovers. That's to be expected in a game like this, semifinal game. Stakes are high. Look to see when these guys can get a little bit, get into a rhythm, get comfortable, and then we'll start to see some scoring. But very sloppy start to this game.
That's Latito with it. As Giordano with the nice move inside.
Yeah, tremendous set from Coach Alessi out of timeout. A little bit of a horn set into a dribble handoff, which led to a backdoor cut. This is what the Manhattanville team does. They're such a smart team, especially off the ball, and Max have to be aware of that throughout this game.
As Orr tried to work on Scanlon, but couldn't get it to fall, and the Max there to clean it up. St. Louis driving in, and they're going to call the foul on Orson Jeffsky.
I mean, this is what this Manhattanville team does, even off of a made basket, which is not typically a transition opportunity. They look to get out and run. The Max were not ready on that possession. Andrew St. Louis got all the way to the rim, didn't get 2 free throws. Max needs to do a better job of getting back on defense, regardless of what happens on the other end.
And that's something we've seen the Max struggle with all season, is transition offense. When teams like to push, sometimes the Max have been a little lazy in getting back and being able to focus on the defensive end right away.
Yeah, especially after makes. After you make it, you draw back on defense, you celebrate your make. You can't have that. This Manhattanville team was waiting for that. They want to get out and run the second they have the opportunity. You got to be better on that.
As St. Louis hits them both. Manhattanville leads 8-5, just under 16 left. Markovich with it. Cross court to Orr. Orr gets him to fall and gets the layup. What a play by Orson Chevsky.
He's got the advantage there with his size. He's going to be able to get to the rim at ease this game.
If that's a good defensive play, Samet with it for the Max. Totan at the wing. Picks up his dribble to Orr for 3. And he gets it! What a last 1 minute by Orson Jevsky.
Yeah, it's a great shot. I don't know if that's the shot you necessarily want in the offense. Early in the shot clock, a couple feet behind the arc. Again, he made it, so can't say anything about it. But look for the Max to get better shots on the offensive end.
As that was a little bit of a blown coverage by the Max, leaving Giordano wide open. But kind of got bailed out by a missed layup. So Tom thought about the 3. Gets it back at the top of the key. Samet trying to take in Latito. He kicks it back out to Dotan. Dotan almost loses his dribble. Zakheim 4 on the clock. Takes Latito inside. And that's no good. Rebound Latito. Scanlon with it. Zakheim defending. Giordano. Back to Scanlon. And now Hastings with it. Giordano at the top. Now Latito. St. Louis inside to Giordano. Giordano puts it up. And good defense by Orson Jevsky as he forced the miss from Giordano.
Yeah, I mean, you start with the coverage on the pick and roll with the hard hedge by Dotan. That means Orr needs to come over to pick up Giordano. He does that last time, forces the miss.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on Orson Jevsky as he tried to back down the smaller Jack Scanlon.
Yeah, that play was bound to happen. We saw a couple earlier where it looked like Manhattan won the offensive foul on Orr. That time they get it. Orr's got to be careful when he leans down, especially with his size advantage. They're looking to draw those fouls on him. He's got to be careful throughout this game.
Yeah, especially with such a huge size advantage. It's not just 3-4 inches. It's also Orr's a big guy. He's really got to be careful. He doesn't always even need to do that.
It's a defensive strategy for Manhattan. They know it's going to be hard for them to guard him one-on-one. So any way they can try to draw a foul, force the turnover, that's what they're going to do.
As Kistu Miles into the game for Manhattanville. St. Louis, Latito. Also coming into the game for Manhattanville, number 22, Daniel Marinaccio. As Latito goes inside. As that was a good contest by Roy Ikovic. Samet taking it down. Gets the layup. Nice fast break by the Max. Giordano top of the key. As that's out of bounds. It's going to stay Manhattanville ball. With Effie Foreign left checking into the game for Adi Markovic.
Yeah, we're seeing early on the Manhattanville Valiants are using Giordano as a facilitator at the top of the key. Now what this does is it forces Dovid to come out, and the spacing from Manhattanville is pretty good. Now we've seen him get to the basket a couple of times, but Tito missed the layup on the other end. I like to see what Manhattanville's doing in terms of spacing and trying to create those dribble drive opportunities.
As it's St. Louis. Now kiss to Miles. Back to St. Louis. Taking in Samet. Now it's Latito. In from Malillo for three. As he couldn't get that, but that's an offensive rebound by Tommy Latito, who kicks it out for Marinaccio. And that's a rebound by Zakheim. Samet in transition. Nice move on Kisto Miles. And what a layup by Zevi Samet. As Coach Alessi's going to call a timeout for Manhattanville. And that's going to be a full timeout. And with that full timeout, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, S.J. Tenenbaum. S.J.?
Thank you very much, guys. Fans, in the quarterfinals game on Tuesday night, Valiant senior Xavier Kistu Miles led the team with a career-high 17 points. This season has not been easy for him thus far and has been riddled with road bumps. Earlier in the year, he pushed through injuries and managed to play a majority of the team's games, but then 2 weeks ago, his grandmother passed away, and he drove 9 hours back home to be with his family. We want to wish Xavier and his family our condolences and applaud Xavier Kistu Miles on the adversity he has faced and overcome in order to play in tonight's game. Back to you guys in the booth.
And thank you, SJ. As always, you can follow SJ at Sideline Suits on social media.
He's got the style. I say this every game, but you're jealous. You can't match that. It's impossible.
Yeah, SJ always known to be the man with the style. Speaking of style, Yeshiva's on a little bit of a run here. Now up 14-8. What have we seen from Yeshiva in the last couple minutes?
Yeah, I think it's them getting out in transition. I mean, this is an offense that when Yeshiva is able to get out in transition, it opens up so much for them. Just going back to that last move by Zevi Samet and the growth he's had as a player. Last year, I think Zevi Samet was pulling up from three on that time. This time, he understands that's what the defense supposed to take away. A little hesitation, finishes at the rim. Just incredible awareness by Zevi Samet.
As it's St. Louis top of the key to Latito. Thought about the three. Effie Fornliff defending. Now it's Marinaccio, loses it. And that's going to be Max basketball. Smart play by Zakheim to poke it out and then make sure it went off Marinaccio.
Yeah, the one-on-one defense from the Max so far this game has been tremendous. The same thing we saw from them a couple weeks ago when the last time these two teams played. That point of attack defense, guarding the ball handler, preventing that initial dribble drive. It's key to this game. So far they've done a tremendous job in that.
That's Itkovich with a dangerous cross-court pass to Samet. Samet now in the corner. Working on Marinaccio. Out to Zakheim for three. Nothing but net from Max Zakheim as Yeshiva extends it to an 11-0 run.
And that's huge for Zakheim, trying to get him going early. We didn't have a huge offensive impact last game. This time he already starts off strong.
As that was a nice move inside by Andrew St. Louis, and it's going to be a foul on Roy Itkovich with St. Louis going to the line for two.
Yeah, St. Louis has been the guy so far from Manhattanville. They haven't really had any offensive rhythm so far, but he's been the guy that's kept them in this game. I say keep them in this game. It's still a 9-point game early on, but he's had the Max in a lot of trouble tonight.
As we're going to go to our Max Live trivia question. Who is the Max assists leader this season? Tweet your answer with the hashtag MaxLiveTrivia, or go to our Instagram page and see if you know the answer to who leads the Max in assists for this 2023-24 season, as St. Louis once again makes both. So Eitan, top of the key, gives it to Samet for three. And that's no good. Latito pushing. Tito kind of stopped and panicked. Nice play by Malillo. And that's poked out by the Max. Great defense.
And that's what Effie does so well. He's so good at defensive awareness, getting his hands, deflecting passes, getting steals. Tremendous play by him.
Zakheim works his way out of the double team. Cross court to Bardichev. Now Roy top of the key. Zevi with 12 on the clock. Inside to Dotan. Dotan working on the smaller Latito. Zakheim at the wing for three. And off the back rim.
Yeah, That time you saw a double team from Dotan. Dotan found the open man to Zakheim. Zakheim couldn't get it to go, but let's see if Manhattanville continues to double Dotan down low.
And that's Kistu Miles with a nice baseline drive and layup.
Yeah, Kistu Miles is an X factor in this game. He had 17 points last game. He's a guy that if Manhattanville is going to win these games, he's going to have to play a big role. And so far on that last drive, getting it done.
And Ikovic backing down the smaller Malillo, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, the Macs doing exactly what they need to do, especially with Giordano on the bench for the Valiants, getting the ball inside, taking advantage of that size mismatch that the Macs have. And Manhattanville is continuing to send double teams. So if you're the Macs, be aware of that double team and try to find that open man, open cutter next time down.
As right now for the Macs, for Manhattanville, with their tallest player on the court, I believe being Tommy Latito at 6'2". Macs really going to take advantage with Dotan Bardachev inside. As if you see in the top corner of your screen, we got Farmingdale up about 10 points on Sarah Lawrence in the other game. Obviously the winner of that game will take on the winner of this game for the Skyline Championship and an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. As that's St. Louis, over to Malillo. Latito now. Working on Freundlich, drew the foul.
Yeah, I mean, you bail him out a little bit there. Once you reach in, the ref's going to call that almost 9 times out of 10. So again, a little too aggressive from Effie, but you like to see that early on this game.
As the inbound is St. Louis in the backcourt. Kistu Miles coming up for the screen. Roy switches on St. Louis. Latito on Freundlich. Gets by him. And that's a nice poke by Dotan Bardachev, and that's another steal for the Macs.
Yeah, tremendous job by Dotan, not committing either way, staying in the middle, making the offensive player make a decision before he makes the decision. And that time, that indecision by Manhattanville player leads to the steal. So great job by Dotan Bardachev.
As Salmon working on Malillo. Kicks it out to Adi, thought about the three. Salmon in the corner. And that's in for Zevi Salmon, extending this Max run. Another three for Zevi Salmon. And that's going to force a timeout from Coach Alessi. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
If you're living with pain that affects your quality of life, we're here to help. Many patients respond well to progressive physical therapy. PM&R, the proud sponsor of the YU Maccabees men's basketball team. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. As the Yeshiva Maccabees lead the Manhattanville Valiants 22-12. Started out with Manhattanville, maybe getting a little bit of an advantage, and ever since then, Yeshiva's been on a solid run. What have we seen from Yeshiva?
And it started with them getting out in transition, and they got a couple easy buckets, got to the line a couple times, and that set the tone for them offensively. And now you've seen them hit a couple threes. Zakheim hit one earlier. Salmon hit that tremendous one in the corner. That quick release by Zevi Salmon makes him so dangerous because he can hit that shot with the smallest amount of space. It makes him such a difficult player to guard, and the Macs have a massive lead right now.
And St. Louis top of the key. Gives it on to Marinaccio. Malillo now. Driving inside. Puts it up and gets the nice layup to go.
Yeah, the Macs are playing very high up on that on-ball pressure, which is good, but that's going to be very susceptible to drive to the basket. That time, he was able to get all the way to the basket too.
Dotan for three. And that's no good. Rebound St. Louis. St. Louis with a nice cross on Adi. Taking him inside. And Roy Ikovic grabs the rebound.
Yeah, call a little bit of a break there. Missed the layup. Max need to do a better job getting back on defense.
And let's see if the Macs take advantage of the height mismatch as Giordano looks to check back into the game. Roy down low, gets trapped in a double team. And let's see how they call this. They're going to call it a jump ball, so the Macs will retain possession.
That's just a great defensive play by Manhattanville. A strong side double. You don't see that very much with Dotan's man going down to double after the initial pass to Roy. I don't think Roy was expecting that. That's why you saw that jump ball there. But great job by Manhattanville.
As Giordano and Hastings, check back into the game for Manhattanville. Adida inbound. And Salmon with another 3 off great off-ball screens from Effie Freundlich and Dotan Bardachev.
Yeah, absolutely. Those 2 ball screens from 2 off-ball screens from Effie and Dotan allow Sam to get open. Giordano didn't step up all the way, allowing Sam to get that 3 off easily.
As they're going to call a loose ball foul on Giordano on that miss. As that's going to be Giordano's fourth team. Yoav Oselka checking into the game for the Max as Dotan takes a seat. Effie driving baseline. Puts it up, can't get it to go. And he's going to go to the line for 2.
And what's interesting about that is because of the motion of the rest of the players besides Effie, once Effie drives to the basket, because those help defenders are occupied with the movement of the Max offense, he's able to get all the way to the basket and draw the foul.
As we asked earlier for the Max Live Trivia question, the question was, who is the Max assist leader this season? And the answer is Dotan Bardachev with 96 assists. He's almost at 100 on the season. And it's really interesting with the Max. You typically don't see the center leading with assists, but we saw it back in the day with Gabe Leifer and now with Dotan as well, that the Max really like to get their bigs involved.
Well, that's what makes this offense so unique, is we've actually seen the Max have a lot of big men that are great passers. Donnie Katz, Gabe Leifer, Matan Zucker was a good passer too. So this offense with the post-up game allows him to find those open guys on the perimeter, which is why those big men usually get a lot of assists.
And on that possession, we saw the Max come out in a zone. And Adi Markovic got a foul on the floor. It's very interesting. We've sometimes seen the Max pop out of a zone on a timeout or a missed free throw or something. Typically known for a man team, they like to mix it in there a little bit.
Yeah, it keeps the defense off balance and not unable to get into a rhythm of any sort. Even just throwing it for 2 or 3 possessions, it forces the offense to react to it, and that time get very uncomfortable for the offense.
As great defense from Oselka forces the miss from Giordano. Samit. As that's a little bit of a lazy pass taken by Latito. Latito pushing the other way over to St. Louis. As that's a nice layup from St. Louis.
And that's what's going to allow Manhattanville to get back into this game. They're struggling a lot in the half-court offense. So look for them to continue to try to get turnovers and get out in transition for those easy buckets, because in the half-court they've had a very hard time generating any points.
A nice screen from Oselka for Adi. Yoav backing down the smaller St. Louis. Adi for 3. That's no good. Rebound Latito. Latito taking front look inside, kicks it out for Hastings. Hastings, cross court for Melillo. Melillo inside to Giordano, as that's a good contest by Adi Markovic, but he gets called for the foul.
Yeah, and this is what Manhattanville wants to do. Their dribble drive offense. Once they beat that initial man to the basket, that's going to force YU to throw some help defenders. That time, excellent pass, found Giordano inside. I thought that was a good contest by Markovic. Good foul, sends him in line for 2.
As Giordano misses the first one. And Max Zakheim and Dotan Bardachev check back into the game for the Max. Giordano hits the second. So 27-17, just over 6 to go in the first half. As Bardachev, with Rannigan defending. Freundlich, down low to Roy. Roy back to Freundlich. Effie working inside. Roy for 3. And Roy drills the 3-pointer, and he's hyped.
That was a great shot, but that was excellent defense by Manhattanville. And with this 2 big lineup, Giordano was able to sack off of Osaka since he's not a shooter, which clogs up the lanes for those backdoor cuts. That time, Roy was able to bail out a slow offensive set, but a good defensive set from Manhattanville.
As on that last possession, that was a nice baseline drive by John Rannigan. Eitan with the top of the key. Gives it to Max, who drives. And Giordano says, get out of here with that. And that's going to stay Max ball.
And that's what we talked about with this two-big lineup with Bardachek and Osaka. Since Osaka is not a perimeter threat, that allows Giordano to stay in the paint and wait for those drives, that time blocking Zakheim's shot.
Zakheim under the basket, puts it up. And that's no good. Good effort by Zakheim as he tips the ball to Roy, and the Max will get another chance at this possession. Eitan finds Roy in the corner for another three. Can't get that to go. Kind of thought he stepped out there, but St. Louis taking it down. Working on Roy. A little bit of an interesting take from St. Louis as Zakheim brings the ball back up. Zakheim pulls for three, and that is true from Zakheim.
Yeah, you love the confidence from Zakheim. Missed a couple shots at the rim the last possession, but he has no hesitation, goes straight into his shot once he got that space on the perimeter. Big game from him so far.
As that's going to be another reach-in foul on number 20, Effie Farnley. We know him for his defensive prowess, but he's got to be careful with his hands and on those plays.
Yeah, and you like to see that from a guy coming off the bench like Effie. You know, he's going to get a certain amount of minutes per game, but you want to see a guy like him give it all, on the defensive end. Now, that will lead to fouls occasionally, but for him, he's done a great job defensively. Again, you got to be a little bit careful, not to jut the hip out, not to use your hands, but, can't complain about his defensive performance so far.
And Salmon checks back into the game for the Max. As with the Max being in the bonus, that was a successful 1-on-1 from St. Louis. Let's see if he can make the second. And he cannot. So Eitan bringing it down court for the Max. Salmon now, St. Louis in his face. Couldn't get that one. As Latito taking it down.
Yeah, we've seen the Max run a pick and roll the last few times. We very rarely see that from this team, but they're trying to get something going with Zevi Salmon with Max Zakheim through the pick and roll.
As that's a three from St. Louis. Quiets the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, St. Louis is keeping his team in the game, and I expect him to continue to do that. And Latito and Giordano are going to have to step up in the second half if they want to get back from this game.
Zakheim driving in. Changes his mind. Samet for three. And couldn't make that one. As Yoav Osaka is going to get called for the loose ball foul. And that's going to send Giordano to the line for a 1-on-1.
And what we're seeing now is, and we spoke about this earlier, is with Osaka in the game, it allows Giordano to stay in the paint, and that's given Max a lot of trouble. They're settling for a lot of threes, and they're a good three-point shooting team. But the last few possessions, trying to force those shots from beyond the arc, and now the Valiants have a chance to cut it under 10. So I'm curious. So we see Osaka coming out of the game now. Makes sense. A tremendous player, but again, this is not what this Max team needs right now.
Yeah, it's very tempting to put in Osaka. We had the big lineup with Roy, Eitan, and Yoav all in the game. And especially the way Yoav played last game against Manhattanville, where he had a game of his career, his young career for the Maccabees. But in certain situations, if it's not working, got to switch it up if you're the Max. That's Eitan with it. Now Adi at the wing. Eitan for three, and he drills it. As Eitan extends the Max lead to double digits.
Yeah, and now forcing Giordano to guard the perimeter. That's not what he wants to do. When he takes Eitan, he needs to step out. Eitan will be able to get the good look there.
As the Max kind of got caught watching on that possession, as Giordano with the easy layup. Zakheim over to Samet. Samet to Markovic. Markovic into Roy at the elbow. Eitan in the corner. Cross court to Samet for three. That's no good. as Adi Markovic is going to get called for a foul. And that's going to be his third foul. You got to assume he's going to take a seat. As we see Ben Haber checking into the game for the Max. We haven't seen him in a while. Nice to see him back on the court.
Yeah, we've seen Manhattanville get to the line a couple of times now since they're in the bonus, and they're slowly chipping away at this lead. Once felt like the Max had this game totally under control. A couple free throws here can put this game to 7 points with a couple minutes left to go to halftime. This game is still very much up in the balance. Tremendous job by Manhattanville to stay in the game and not to give up and not to break down.
As St. Louis hits the first one, he's now 6 of 7 from the line this game. As with the make, Marinaccio is going to come into the game for St. Louis. And St. Louis has really been carrying the Valiants offense this game.
Yeah, we had talked about previously that we thought he was a guy that could be someone Manhattanville tries to get going in this game, especially after how they struggled last game against the Max. And he's done just that, keeping them in this game. They're going to need help from other guys in the second half if they want to come back and win this game. But he's done his part so far in the first half.
Zakheim with it. We're seeing really aggressive defense from Manhattanville. Roy from the free.
And I love to see that from Roy. When Roy shoots and he's confident and he doesn't hesitate, he makes those shots. When Roy gets into trouble is when he starts second-guessing his shots. Right now, he's confident and he's taking those shots when he's open.
Yes, that's a nice play by Giordano. And that's something we've really seen with a couple of the Max, that it's very much a confidence-based performance. That if they're feeling it and they're doing really well, then it leads to better performances. And if not, sometimes, if they lose their confidence, they keep second-guessing themselves. It doesn't turn out so pretty.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it's so important in these playoff games for these guys to start the game strong, to get into a rhythm early. And once you get confident early, that sets the tone for the rest of the game.
I think that's also where the home crowd comes in. Definitely easier to play well when you got all these fans behind your back. As Hastings top of the key. Zakheim defending him. Just over a minute to go in this game. Yeshiva leads by 7. Hastings inside. Marinaccio in the corner for 3. And that's going to be rebounded by Ben Haber.
Yeah, Roy all the way on the help side, helped all the way in the middle of the paint. Gave up a pretty open look for number 22. But again, that's what the Max want to do. They want to take away that drive.
As Zakheim going inside, makes the layup. Tito with the athletic layup in return for Zakheim.
Yeah, and again, off of a made basket for the Max. They struggle to stop these hard transition moves from Manhattanville even after a made basket. That's a very big problem for this game.
And Ikovic. Now Bardashev. Scanlon defending him. Now it's Zakheim. Puts his head down. And he got hit in the face, but they're not going to call that. Max Stern Athletic Center not too happy. As Latito drives on Roy. No good. Rebound Haber. 3 seconds to go. As it seems there's a little confusion as to what's going on. I believe they blew the whistle for the injury for Zakheim after Yeshiva got the ball back.
It looks like they blew the whistle because Max Zakheim was down injured, so that's going to stop the clock. It should be Max's ball with a little over 2 seconds. Chance for them to get something up. And you hope Max is okay. Took a little bit of a hit in that collision with Giordano on the other end.
As he looks to just be shaking it off. Ikovic to inbound. Gives to Samit. 2-1. Throws up a prayer. And that one's not even close. At the half, Yeshiva lead 40, Manhattanville 33. And we will send them to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We got second half of Max basketball coming right up.
My story started with a letter in the mail. I took my first steps in New York and felt the energy all around me.
I connected with my Rebbe on the first day of Shir.
My story was learning that the mitochondria is more than just the powerhouse of the cell.
I made my painting from scratch, like really from scratch.
My roommates came here from 4 different countries. We lit one menorah together.
My story was practice every night.
Chavruta every night.
Subway rides, city lights.
In my story, my name was in the headlines.
The bylines. The University Museum.
My story was my internship at the Supreme Court.
Dancing with the Israeli flag in Times Square.
My story was participating in the only hackathon, not on Shabbat.
The Career Center found me my first job at a top business analytics firm.
My story was becoming best friends with my chavruta.
And holding that NCAA trophy.
My story started here.
My story is just beginning.
I applaud those philanthropists who are closing their checkbooks and saying, goodbye to Harvard, goodbye to Penn, goodbye to Cornell, goodbye to Brown, goodbye to Berkeley, goodbye to all of these schools that once stood for something great and now stand for the decay and the deterioration and the shuttering of the American liberal imagination. When you're not wanted, go start your own thing. Be the cool kid, let others join you, and take note of who did not stand by you, who did not stand by us at a moment like this. That is my proposal for the Jewish future, for American Jews.
Well, the Yeshiva basketball team is doing very, very well now, and JBS is broadcasting the game. My take on that is the fact that the Yeshiva team is doing well. The most interesting thing for me, when people forget about how many games they won, is that when they play in the tournament, the first round game, which takes place on Friday, doesn't start at 8 o'clock in the evening. It starts at 12 noon. The NCAA, which is the overriding body that controls sports, has more rules than the Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law. But they're accommodating us. It's another barometer of where Jews fit in America. So it's so great that JBS is doing these. Sadly, Mark, who did the first time we broadcasted a game, when they first made the tournament, he was the MC. He was the anchor man from JBS. So, so much of what Mark wanted to do, we're going to try to do as best we can with our limited abilities to fulfill, so many of his dreams.
JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, with a marvelous array of programming for anyone interested in Jewish life and the State of Israel. News, events, Jewish studies, movies. It's all on JBS, expanding Jewish understanding, celebrating all things Jewish.
And welcome back in to the booth here in the Max Stern Athletic Center as Yeshiva leads Manhattanville 40-33 at halftime. And we have the privilege to host Coach Harold Katz in the booth for a halftime interview. Coach Katz, how are you doing today? So what were your thoughts on the first half for the Maccabees?
You can't start fouling guys when you're up 14 or 15 and stop the clock and not expect to give up your lead. So we've had that problem recently, and maybe we fixed it in the second half. So we take care of the ball. 6 turnovers is not the mess that it was a couple of days ago. So from that standpoint, it's win the half, win the game. That's really what that's about.
Yeah, and Coach, I wanted to ask a little bit about Yoav Osaka. Sure. A little bit of playing time there. You saw Giordano was hanging out in the paint. So what can the Macs do in the second half if they want to play Osaka to try to get him going if Manhattanville's going to use that defensive strategy in the second half?
Well, I think we saw a little bit. Yoav, I think, came up the ball screen. And then if Giordano's going to stay in the paint, you're turning the corner, and there's nobody there. So, I mean, they're doing a lot of switching. Our reads are not necessarily quick. In other words, they'll switch on us, and then instead of slipping it to the bucket, we'll kind of fight it to get outside it. And that's a little bit of a problem with that. But that's one thing you can do. If Yoav's playing, Yoav does a great job on him defensively, as you saw. But then if they're going to play us like that, we'll just, let's you just ball screen that. They're not, I probably didn't scout and report that ball screen. So, but that's one way to do it and make them play.
And Coach, back to you. We know you have a very exciting opportunity coming up next year.
That's
if you would like to describe that a little bit.
Well, first, as everybody knows, I've been coaching, well, I don't know if everybody knows, but I've been coaching basketball in this country for a long time. I received a call in August if I was interested in maybe coaching in Israel. And Maccabi World Union, which is the biggest Jewish sports organization in the world, called and asked if I would entertain an offer to start a post-high school program. A lot of public school kids, and we have some private school kids, but we're not taking anybody away from Torah study. So what we're trying to do is kind of bring kids to Israel to play for a gap year, play semi-professional basketball because you don't want to get paid, because we want kids who are playing in college to keep their eligibility, and doing it for boys and girls, although our girls program, we're trying to get off the ground now. We're not sure if that, but the boys, thank God, we're still taking applications, which is great, but it's the opportunity to go live in Israel, and I don't even know how I could turn that down. My wife and I could turn it down. If I don't say hi to her, I'm going to catch grief. Like when Ryan Terrell's on here, he never says hi to me, so I'm not going to say hi to Ryan.
Well, Coach, we're very excited for you, and it's going to be great things in Israel, and we appreciate you coming on. And
my pleasure.
And we're very excited to see what happens in the second half.
Well, if I can, just a personal note, your father played for me, Ari, one of the best players I've ever had, and he was my first coaching job alone, as your father could probably attest to the mess that I was back then. But it's the huge thrill to be able to talk to you at halftime. If your dad is watching, your dad knows how I feel about him, and I couldn't be prouder of a player, and obviously talking to you is a great thrill for me.
Yeah, he's probably going to take this clip and just play it on forever, just trying to keep reminding us about how good he was. So,
well, he could play a little bit.
You gave him some good material for the next rest of his life.
Happy Pesach, Ari.
Well, thank you for coming on, and don't go anywhere,
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
The best source of news today is JBS. And viewers should understand that this has become the public square of the American Jewish community. This is where they can get 24/7 information, understanding, analysis, sympathetically, honestly, accurately. JBS should become the address of choice.
My story started with a letter in the mail. I took my first steps in New York and felt the energy all around me.
I connected with my Rebbe on the first day of Shir.
My story was learning that the mitochondria is more than just the powerhouse of the cell.
I made my painting from scratch. Like, really from scratch.
My roommates came here from 4 different countries. We lit one menorah together.
My story was practice every night.
Chavruta every night.
Subway rides, city lights.
In my story, my name was in the headlines.
The bylines.
The University Museum.
My story was my internship at the Supreme Court.
Dancing with the Israeli flag in Times Square.
My story was participating in the only hackathon, not on Shabbat.
The Career Center found me my first job at a top business analytics firm.
My story was becoming best friends with my chavruta.
And holding that NCAA trophy.
My story started here.
My story is just beginning.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center. I'm Yosef Silver alongside Ari Schaff as we get set for the second half of this Skyline semifinal game between Yeshiva and Manhattanville. Yeshiva currently leads 40-33. A reminder that this game is being broadcast by Max Live as always on the Max Live YouTube channel and on MaxLive.com. But for the first time, live on JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, a viewer-supported 24/7 cable television channel that celebrates Jewish learning, tradition, history, and culture. We're excited to bring these games to the JBS viewers. And now let's get into the Lekket Israel halftime show with our halftime stats. Halftime stats are brought to you by Lekket Israel. Lekket Israel, rescuing nutritious surplus food for Israelis in need. Ari, what do we got?
Yeah, I mean, for the Max, just shooting the ball, 8 for 16 from 3, 50%. Very good start from them beyond the arc. Again, it's frustrating that they're only up 7 points, and a big reason for that is because Manhattanville has gone to the free throw line 12 times, and they're 10 of 12 from the free throw line, and the Max have only gone to the free throw line 4 times. They've made all 4 free throws, but that's a big gap in this game, and it's what's allowed Manhattanville to stay in the game in the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be key for the Max, as we have a score update in the parallel game going on to this. In the other semifinal game, as you can see in the top corner, Farmingdale has officially defeated Sarah Lawrence by a score of 81-66, which means that the winner of this game, whoever it will travel to Farmingdale. If Manhattanville wins, it will be Saturday afternoon. If Yeshiva wins, it will be Sunday afternoon. And the winner of this game will compete with Farmingdale for the championship.
Yeah, to be the best, you have to beat the best, and Farmingdale has been the best team in the Skyline Conference all season long. Manhattanville is actually the one Skyline team to beat them this year, so either way, it will be an interesting matchup, whoever wins this game.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke to Coach Alessi about that Farmingdale game. He said we were really just firing on all cylinders. They're a very good team, and you just got to be at your A game, and thankfully we were at our A game that day. Whichever one of these teams move on is definitely going to have to play their A game if they're going to take down Farmingdale.
First, we got a big second half coming.
As St. Louis with it. Giordano. Latito. Adi defending. St. Louis. Hastings. Down low to Giordano. Giordano puts it out. Good defense by the Max. Nice double.
Yeah, tremendous help by Zevi Samet. Dotan tried to deny the ball. A good pass inside to Giordano, but because Zevi Samet was there, preventing that easy layup.
And Dotan tried for the three, couldn't get it to fall. As good effort by Orsanjevsky to retain possession for the Max. Dotan with it. Over to Zakheim. Zakheim for three. That's no good. Rebound Scanlon. Latito pushing. Now to St. Louis. St. Louis drives and gets the transition layup.
And this is what this Manhattan team does so well. They find any opportunity possible to get out in transition, and they do it. Even after a typical miss, a made basket, they're looking to generate some numbers on the transition.
As Hastings pokes that ball away from Samet, as the Max are going to inbound the ball, 19 to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Max to get the ball inside to Orsanjevsky here. He's got the size advantage, try to establish himself down low.
Zakheim inside to Samet. Tried to work on Giordano, couldn't get it to go. As Scanlon pushing into the corner of St. Louis. Now Hastings. Hastings, Latito in the corner. Drives baseline, kicks it out. Hastings for three. That's no good. Rebound Dotan.
Yeah, and going back to the Max offense, if Giordano is able to stay in the paint, it's going to give the Max a lot of difficulty. And so whenever they do that, the Max need to be patient and try to draw him out of the paint.
Zakheim at the wing. Up to Dotan. Bardachev taking in Giordano. Goes strong to the rim and gets the foul call. Refs seem to have hesitated there for a second, but ultimately give him the call.
Yeah, I like that from Dotan. We saw him do that a lot the last time these two teams played. Once Giordano comes out to guard him on the perimeter, Giordano is not as comfortable as he is guarding on the perimeter as he is on the inside. Dotan knows that, so he drives to the basket, got fouled there. Look to see him continue to do that as the second half goes on.
As Dotan Bardachev hits the first. Subscribe to Max Live on YouTube to make sure you do not miss any amazing Max games and highlights this season. As Dotan makes the second as well, extending the Yeshiva lead to 7 points with just under 18 to go. Latito with it. Hastings thought about the three, pulls it this time, and that's in for Hastings.
A tremendous set play from Manhattanville there, a double ball screen. Once they set that screen, the ball screeners went to set another screen for Hastings, who came off of it, got a good look. Manhattanville's right back into this game.
Yeah, as it's only a 4-point lead for Yeshiva, as Sanjevsky working on Hastings, takes him inside. That's no good, rebound Zakheim. Out to Bardachev, Max look to reset. Zakheim at the wing, takes in St. Louis. Zakheim tried to put up the layup, thought he got fouled, but no call. St. Louis pushing the other way, Latito, 3-on-2. As Hastings with the athletic three, couldn't get that one. And Samuel will look to slow it down here for the Max.
Yeah, both teams very frustrated at the refs. Both felt like they got fouled on the other end.
As that was a gorgeous find from Adi Markovic, as he gives the little glasses celly, finding Zevi Samet on the cut.
Yeah, great awareness by Zevi Samet. They're overplaying him. They don't want him to get the ball on the perimeter because of how dangerous he is as a shooter. He knows that. He knows Giordano's not at home. Goes backdoor, easy layup. Great play all around.
And that's something that Zevi's really improved on this season, is finding a way to score even when they cover him on the perimeter. As that's a three from St. Louis. And Dotan strong on the glass.
Yeah, the Valiants are getting good look. They're able to get to the basket, use that dribble drive to generate some good looks. They haven't been able to make them. That's some good plays.
As that's a nice pull-up jumper from Samet. And Coach Alesso is going to call timeout. And we're going to send it to commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, Max fans. This is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center as Yeshiva's up on Manhattanville by 8, and we're going to go to the third member of our crew, SJ Tenenbaum. SJ?
Fans, we all know how crazy the Max Stern Athletic Center can get, but when you take into account that the team is taking on rival Manhattanville, the crowd becomes almost surreal. When we asked Manhattanville's coach Alessi about his thoughts on playing here at the Max Stern Athletic Center, he told us that he calls this home gym, quote, the House of Horrors, but that his players are experienced, prepared, and looking forward to the challenge. He also said, quote, if you love basketball, it's a great place to watch a game, and a great game we have tonight. Back to you guys in the booth.
Showing tribute to our soldiers and the sacrifices that they make. As Manhattanville's going to take the ball down. Gives it to Hastings. Crowd into it. St. Louis. Giordano. Latito cutting in. Good defense by Sinjevsky. As they're going to call a shooting foul on Orsinjevsky.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. He was one of the better players in this Skyline conference. First half was pretty quiet. Big game from Andrew St. Louis. What Latito does so well is once he gets that initial step to the basket, he's able to use his body to generate contact while also being able to put himself in position to finish. He's done a great job of that today. That time he's able to get the foul and the layup to go. Has a chance to cut the lead to 5.
As the Max not happy about that call, especially considering that that's now Orr's third foul, so he's going to go take a seat. 46-41, just under 16 minutes to go. As Totan has it at the wing. Gives it to ID. Markovic, Hastings on him. Hastings pokes it out, Markovic gets it back. As Markovic just throws it into Hastings and goes out of bounds. Going to reset with 11 on the shot clock.
Yeah, the Max not doing a good job off the ball so far. The screens have been very lazy. Cutting has been pretty non-existent. They need to get back to that in the second half to win this game.
Totan bringing Giordano inside. That's a nice layup from Dotan Bardichev.
Yeah, we said that's what Dotan's going to look to do in the second half. Draw Giordano out to the perimeter and then attack him to the basket.
Tito, Giordano to Hastings. As that pass is tipped, Hastings driving, tries to throw it to Giordano, a little miscommunication, and it's going to be Maccabee basketball.
And that all starts from that, once that ball screen is set by Manhattanville, Dotan comes all the way out, and he's able to force the ball screen, the ball handler out, which denies them any advantage on that ball screen, and that just sets a tone for that possession, leading to the turnover.
Bardichev with it. Gives it to Rojakovic. Samit trying to work on Hastings, loses it, gets it back. Bardichev now. Good recovery by Samit. Previous play. Roy, 7 on the shot clock. Tries to take it inside. That's a hard foul. Going to be called. And they're going to call that on number 15, Tommy Latito.
Yeah, and a good idea from the Max trying to get the ball to Roy. Roy needs to be aware that Manhattanville is looking to double that post entry. Once he gets the ball inside, they're going to look to double. That time he got fouled, but in future cases, be aware from that double from the Manhattanville Valiants.
As Dotan from the corner. That's no good. Latito taking it down. Latito with the jumper. That's true.
And this is what Manhattanville wants to do. They want to get out in a semi-transition. It's not fully a transition play, but they want to generate pace, momentum, and that's what they're doing in the second half so far.
Zakheim for three. And that one's good from Max Zakheim. Extend the Yeshiva lead back to 8.
And this won't show up in the box score, but that screen by every contact is exactly what this team needs in order to set those off-ball screens and create open space. Zakheim capitalized on that with a great screen by Effie Fernlook.
As Manhattanville finds a wide open Marinaccio in the corner, and he gets that one to go. 51-46 Yeshiva.
Yeah, great job by Marinaccio. The first half he had a wide open three where I thought YU gave him a little too much space. That time he makes them pay for it. Let's see if YU adjusts and closes that gap that he had the last possession.
Dotan gives it inside to Max, who loses it. Athletic play by Max to poke it back to Dotan. 5 on the shot clock, Salmon in the corner. Gives it to Zakheim, to Roy. He's going to have to put it up, and he does. And he gets it to go. A little further than his elbow shot, but no problem for Roy Ikovic, as that's going to force Coach Alessi to call a timeout. We will go to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Center has been providing its patients with the best possible care of sports, spine, orthopedic, and neuromuscular conditions. Emphasis is placed on manual techniques and individualized home exercise programs. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center as the Yeshiva Maccabees lead the Manhattanville Valiants 53-46 in this pivotal Skyline Conference semifinal game. We'd just like to give a shout out and a little bit more details about the tribute we had before. It's an organization that the Macs are hosting called The Next Step. It's based in Israel, and they help amputees in Israel. Since the war, 62 amputees, both civilians and soldiers, have joined the organization. We have with us Noam Ben Shlosh, who was a Chayal who unfortunately lost his leg, and his brother Yehuda. They came from Israel to visit America for the week. If you want to check out more details or donate, go to thenextstep.org. That's thenextstep.org. As that was a miss from Manhattanville, rebounded by the Macs. Dotan with it.
And these minutes without Giordano on the bench, Max need to take advantage of the side and on cue. Dotan Barticek does exactly that.
That's going to be key for the Macs with Giordano on the bench. That's St. Louis. Now Latito, front left defending him. Malillo inside, and they're going to call that one on Effie Frontlook, as Malillo is going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and on the flip side, with Giordano on the bench, that allows Manhattanville to deploy the small ball lineup, and the spacing that allows them to do gives them more opportunities to drive to the basket with little help. And I'm looking to see if Manhattanville takes Zevi Miles and puts him on the perimeter, which forces Dotan to leave the inside of the paint, which will open up dribble driving opportunities. So look for that in these next few possessions.
As Malillo hits both, and Manhattanville comes out in the press. Max beat it pretty easily. Dotan, Sam at top of the key. Zakheim at the wing, and he gets fouled by St. Louis. And Zakheim's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Max Zakheim can't say enough good things about this game. And it hasn't been his scoring. He has scored the ball well tonight, but it's been the small things he's doing. The effort plays. We know he's not 100%, but his impact on the small, loose balls, diving on the floor, that's what you get from Max Zakheim. Even coming back from an injury says a lot about the player he is.
100%. The Seforim sale at Yeshiva University is back. Come join us between now and February 25th to get all your favorite Seforim at the largest Seforim sale in North America. We're open weeknights, Saturday nights, and all day on Sundays. Come check it out in person at YU's Belfer Hall, or check out our website, theseforimsale.com, link in the description of this video, to look at our catalog, events, and order your Seforim. Looking forward to seeing you there.
And yeah, see, we're seeing this 2-3 zone that the Max showed a little bit in the first half, and I like that they're doing this now with Giordano on the bench, throwing a different look.
As that's a nice poke by Effie Flomlund, and then he draws the foul on Malillo, as the Valiants are now going to be up to 5 team fouls, something to look out for as this game goes down the stretch.
Yeah, and what we're getting now is a semifinal chess match between Elias Steinmetz and Coach Alessi from Manhattanville. See, Alessi took out Giordano in the hopes of creating some spacing opportunities for his offense, and Steinmetz sees that and says, let's switch up the defense, not allow them to get comfortable, go to that 2-3 zone, force a turnover. It's a brilliant chess match from two great coaches.
As Zakheim couldn't get the layup. St. Louis taking it the other way, kicks in the corner, Marinaccio for 3. Bottom. 57-51 Yeshiva. As Manhattanville's coming out again in a full court press. Kornliff picks up his dribble. And Dotan ultimately breaks it. Roy with it now. Effie. Inside to Roy on the smaller Marinaccio. Kicks it out to Effie, thought about the 3. Nice feed by Effie to Roy, and that's a gorgeous layup on a gorgeous play from the Max.
Yeah, incredible awareness from Effie, not taking that initial jump shot, knew there was a better opportunity, found Roy down low.
As Tommy Latito immediately responds. As that's going to be a timeout by Manhattanville. We'll go to a commercial break, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center as we got just under 11 minutes to go. Yeshiva leading Manhattanville 59-53. Ari, what have we seen so far, basically halfway through the second half?
Yeah, it's been a back and forth. You know, in the first half, both teams started off very slowly, very sloppy. These teams have figured it out in the second half, and we're getting a little bit of a back and forth, high-scoring affair. If you remember the last time these two teams played, Manhattanville did not cross the 50-point mark until the last few minutes of the game, last 2 minutes. They've got over 50 points with 11 minutes left in this game, so a better offensive showing from them. And what I like to see from Manhattanville is with Giordano on the bench, they're a little bit quicker and smaller, so that's why we're seeing this full court press. But with Zakheim back, and this is where its impact is huge, he's able to break it and take care of the basketball.
Yeah, that's key for the Max to have Zakheim back and able to really show off that athleticism. We saw them really struggle in previous games without Zakheim to break presses, and he's a press-breaking master.
Yeah, and the important thing about breaking a press is trying to be smart about when to play fast and when to break the press and hold back. And Zakheim is excellent at that. He knows exactly when to attack and when to be patient when he wants to be in the press.
Kornliff thought about the 3. Gives it to Zakheim, who does take the 3, and that's a little short. Tito taking it down. As the Max back in their zone. And Malillo gets the easy shot.
Yeah, the Max is slow getting back on defense. A great attack for the closeout, a good pull-up jump shot, but the Max are not doing a good job getting back on defense and getting set.
As the Max once again able to break the press. Dotan for 3. And just a little off from Dotan. The fans really getting into it here. Starting to hear the defense chants from the YU faithful. Inside to St. Louis. So Tom Bardachev with great defense to contest the shot. Forces the miss.
Yeah, it's not enough that Dotan's there, but he's able to put his hands up and go vertical, which allows him to not foul, and that's exactly what you need to do with your Dotan.
From the corner. Can't get that one. As Latito just blows straight by all of the Max, bringing this game within 2.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about how well Andrew St. Louis was playing in the first half, but how Manhattanville was going to need to find some production from the other guys in the second half, and so far, Latito has stepped up in the challenge. It's a 2-point game, under 10 minutes to go.
And that's Melillo's 4th. Interesting, they seem to be leaving him in there, even with 4 fouls. And just as I say that, Ryan Giordano checking back into the game for Andrew Melillo. As Manhattanville already up to 6 fouls. The next one's going to be free throws for the Maccabees. Let's see if that affects the game down the stretch. The Macs only had 2 fouls. Samet driving in on Latito. And he's going to get a call for the travel.
And what the Macs are not going to do well is if they try to take their man one-on-one these last 9 minutes of the game. It's not going to work. Manhattanville is a very disciplined defensive team, and you try to beat them in isolation and one-on-one opportunities. That's exactly what they want, and that's playing into their style of play.
As Latito to St. Louis. Inside to Kistu Miles. Marinaccio. St. Louis. Latito. Marinaccio. Inside to St. Louis. Back out to Kistu Miles. Cross court to Latito. Latito drives in, down low to Giordano, and just gorgeous ball movement by Manhattanville.
Yeah, tremendous pacing from Manhattanville. Waiting for the opportunity to strike, waiting for that defensive breakdown. Latito able to get that initial dribble drive. Excellent find. Giordano right back in the game, right back in the score.
That's now a tie game. Sinjevsky working on Kistu Miles. And they're going to call a foul on the floor on Kistu Miles as Orsinjevsky's going to go to the line for a 1-1.
Yeah, things got a little bit, intense there between Orr and Tommy Latito. Let's see if that becomes an issue later on. In the semifinal game, tensions are high. You've got to find a way to keep your composure because these big fouls, technical fouls, can be the difference in whether or not you go to the championship game or you go home tonight. So keep your composure. The game is an intense game. You got to keep your composure.
And that's something we saw in the Maritime game for Yeshiva. Obviously, the technical was due to different circumstances, but just the non-basketball play fully changing the outcome of that game. You definitely don't want that for the Macs, because now it's not just what seed are you, now it's you're going home.
Yeah, and it's not even just if you get teed up or if you get some kind of foul. Once you get into those moments where you lose your composure, it affects how you play. It affects your decision making. You get rushed. You get chaotic. So make sure you stay in the moment. It's okay to get excited. It's okay to be passionate. But make sure you stay in the moment and taking care of business.
Kistu Miles. Across to St. Louis. Latito. Marinaccio. Giordano. Kistu Miles in the corner. Good close up by Roy. And he's going to get called for the reach.
Yeah, and the Macs are playing this 1-3-1 now, and one of the biggest weaknesses in 1-3-1 is that low baseline, and that's exactly where the Manhattanville Valiants have Giordano. They've got him the ball a couple times these last 2 possessions. I expect them to continue to try to do that.
Like you said, it's just a chess match between these 2 excellent coaches. As Giordano pulls up from the elbow, no good.
Yeah, he's capable of hitting that shot, but if you're the Macs, that's what you prefer. You'd rather him shoot the ball on the outside than get the ball inside and work.
As Sonjevsky for 3, bottom. Or Sonjevsky revives the crowd. Macs now leading by 5. St. Louis. And 6th defender. Ref's a little late on the call, but they got it in there. As the 6th defender coming in clutch for the Maccabees.
Yeah, that's home court advantage for you right there. Again, I don't know why that Raptor's there, but, both teams are shooting on the same basket, so what are you going to do?
Exactly. Sinjevsky backing down to 2 miles. Fadeaway shot, no good.
Yeah, that's not the smartest shot of that offensive possession. I know you just hit a 3, or is feeling confident, but again, you've got to understand the situation of this game, and that's not the best opportunity for your team to score.
As that layup from Latito rims out. Rebound Bardachev. Max still up by 5, 6.5 to go. Sinjevsky, another 3. And Manhattanville secures the rebound, but that's not what you're looking for the Max.
Yeah, and Orr is a tremendously talented player, but you have to understand when is the right time to take those shots and when it's not the right time. These last 2 possessions, he's taking some questionable shots, and when you have a lead like this down the stretch, you need to make the defense work. You need to wait, set those screens, make the defense guard you for more than 5 seconds without pulling up a long 3-pointer. So again, Orr needs to pick his spots.
Tito with it. Kiss to Miles. Pulls back for 3. And that's no good. And the Max are just going to let that bounce out of bounds.
Yeah, and just to give Dotan a shout out there, he switched on the ball handler. And when you have a big man that has the ability to guard 1 through 5, it makes your defense so versatile, so dangerous, and very successful.
Dotan bringing it down. Roy backing down St. Louis. Sinjevsky driving. Adi thought about the shot and takes the open lane. Nice behind the back pass to Samit. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Adi Markovic. And that's going to be his 4th. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, a very, very fancy pass, but Manhattanville beat him to the spot, took the charge, and still a 5-point game.
As Frunlich is going to come into the game with Markovic taking a seat. Latito with it, over to St. Louis. St. Louis inside, now Hastings. Marinaccio back out. St. Louis. St. Louis with a nice drive. And that rims out. As Giordano wanted the foul call, but he's not going to get it. So that was good defense by Dotan Bardachev. And Dotan gets bear hugged by Giordano. As that's going to be, I believe, a technical foul, just what we were talking about for that bear hug from Giordano, just out of pure frustration.
Yeah, and it's such an important part of this game. He's had a frustrating second half. He's, knocked down some calls that he felt like he should have got, but you've got to find a way to stay composed. It's a 5-point game, and you can't allow these frustration fouls to give the Max an opportunity to extend this lead.
Yeah, I stand corrected. That was not a technical foul. That was just a regular foul, but with the 1-and-1. Dotan hitting the first, so he's going to get 2 shots. Chance to extend the Max lead to 7. And that's announcer's jinx yet again. I apologize for that.
And watch out for Marinaccio in the corner. He's hit a couple threes in the second half. Look to see if Manhattanville tries to get him the ball in the corner against this zone.
And that's a nice poke by Sinjevsky. And Coach Alessi is going to take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Did you know that 90% of low back pain and sciatica can be treated without surgery? After a detailed evaluation, our physical therapists use gentle, hands-on techniques to alleviate most forms of low back pain. Our physicians have expertise in medication management, as well as a variety of interventional techniques, including trigger point injections. By utilizing a combination of these options, we can help you today. PM&R, the proud sponsor of Yeshiva University Athletics. Let us help you reach your goals at one of our 5 locations in New York and New Jersey.
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center as the Yeshiva Maccabees lead the Manhattanville Valiants 65-59 with 4:42 to go in the Skyline Conference semifinal rematch. Did you know there are only 3 days left in this farm sale? Come by Belfer Hall to look at our selection of thousands of Jewish books, ranging from Gemaras to scholarly books, including dozens of brand new releases for incredibly low prices. Stop by to pick up all the books you're looking for. Can't make it in person? Check out our website, theseforimsale.com. Link is in the description of this video.
Massive possession here from Manhattanville.
As the defense chants come up from the crowd. St. Louis with Sinjevsky defending, kicks in the corner to Kisto Miles. Kisto Miles, cross court to Hastings, and that's going to be a shot clock violation by Manhattanville. Great defense by Yeshiva. I don't think Manhattanville realized how much time was on the clock, and Yeshiva is going to get the ball.
Yeah, I mean, tremendous defense for 30 seconds. The activity, that closeout in those last first few seconds by Roy set the tone, forced that shot clock violation. We've seen that from him all season, and we've seen that from him all game, and that's exactly what the Macs need these final 4.5 minutes.
And it's interesting to see maybe a little bit of offense-defense as Freundlich was on the court off the timeout. Now that the Macs are on offense, he goes to the bench. Roy Ikovic backing down Tito. Sinjevsky for 3, gets it to go! As this gym is excited as the Macs take a 9-point lead.
We've seen that, Manhattanville's doubling a lot once the ball gets inside to the post. That time.
And an offensive foul drawn by Sinjevsky as he is hyped. We sometimes see this with Orr. He'll have a bad minute or two, but then he'll always recover, and he'll put like 2 or 3, both offensive and possessions together, where just he plays unbelievable basketball.
Yeah, when things are going well, Orr fires up this crowd, unlike we've seen in the last few years, and that's what makes him such a special player, a special talent.
Yeah, definitely one to wear his emotions on his sleeve. And they are going to call an offensive foul on Zevi Samit on the inbound.
Yeah, this has been a struggle for the Macs all season long. Against this pressure, full court pressure, we've got 4 minutes left. You're going to expect Manhattanville to deploy this press the rest of the game. You've got to be smart, get the ball in bounds, space the floor, and find a way to break the press easily without these turnovers.
And with that being the Macs' 6th foul, the next one will send Manhattanville to the line. As that's Malillo for 3. Back iron. Rebound, Roy Ikovic. Totan, Giordano all the way out to defend him. Roy back to Samit. Or taking in Hastings inside, and he gets the strong finish.
And that's all set up by the weak side ball. The screen from Zakheim on the weak side.
And they're going to call that a defensive foul on Sinjevsky as they kind of both went to the floor together. Max Faithful definitely not liking that call.
Yeah, Orr's trying to sell that offensive foul.
Excuse me, they called it on both Giordano and Sinjevsky. That's what they just announced here in the gym. As former IDF soldier Mendy Kanowski.
It looked like they called a foul on both teams, and in that situation the ball is going to stay with the team that had the ball. But it looks like Steinmetz is arguing for a jump ball, trying to go over the rules here.
As Manhattanville to inbound. Hastings for 3. Air ball, rebound Salmon. And the crowd's letting him hear it.
I think what the Macs need to do is have Dotan bring up the ball. Giordano's not comfortable guarding full court, picking up full court. Have Dotan bring up the ball, and now it should be easier for him to break the press.
As that's Roy working inside. on both Hastings and Giordano, and he draws the foul. They're going to call that on Hastings, his third. As with just under 3 to go in this game, Roy's going to go to the line, a chance to extend the lead up to 13 points for Yeshiva.
Yeah, and getting the ball inside to Roy has given the Max a lot of success tonight, whether it's him scoring himself or whether it's waiting for that double team to come, and then he finds the open man. That's what we saw on that 3 to Oris and Jevsky a couple minutes ago. And Roy has done a great job at recognizing when the opportunity is for him to shoot and try to score, and when he sees that double coming, kicking out to the open man. A tremendous game from him.
As Roy Ikovich is able to make both. As we'll keep it here for this Yeshiva timeout. As we're going to send it to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. As with 2:59 to go, Yeshiva leads Manhattanville 72-59. Interestingly enough, as this is a rematch of last year's Skyline Conference semifinal, this was actually the exact score that Manhattanville beat Yeshiva by, 72-59. Now, how have the turntables?
Yeah, and it's all started the last few minutes. Yeshiva's been on a 13-0 run, and it's just momentum plays. It's drawing the offensive foul, hitting the big threes. Roy made some tremendous defensive plays, and then on the offensive end, made some great passes, kicking out to Orr, getting to the free throw line. So it's been an all-around great effort by the Max to get out to this big lead with 3 minutes left.
As no defensive intensity lost from the Max, despite being up 13. And Giordano has it inside. Now Malillo with Latito. Hastings. Latito for 3, and he gets that. As it's going to be an injury timeout. As I believe that's Adi Markovic, who's down for the Max. Couldn't exactly see what happened there. But it looks like maybe his knee. As we're going to send it to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I think the answer is just to learn as much as you can about who you are as fast as you can. That is your best defense against all of this. And it's remarkable and frankly depressing what American Jews don't get taught in the United States. And my advice to anyone, I guess by this point a decade younger than me, would be to, read up and jump in as fast and as hard and as high up as you can.
Welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center, as thankfully Adi was able to get up and walk off on his own. Adi is such a key contributor, co-captain for this team, grad student. He's been here a while, and he really is one of the impact players for these Maccabees.
Yeah, his veteran presence, his discipline, his leadership, his awareness, IQ, all things that this Max team desperately needs. So you really hope he's okay. Hopefully he can maybe get back in this game. If not this game, potentially a future game should the Max hold on. So hopefully he recovers quickly.
As Roy to inbound, Manhattanville coming out in the full court press. As Samet couldn't handle the pass from Roy, and that's going to give Manhattanville the ball.
And when you have a double-digit lead, the one thing you cannot afford to do is turn the basketball over, and that's what's going to come down to. If the Max can't take care of the basketball these last few minutes, Manhattanville's going to have an opportunity to get back into this game and potentially steal it from the Max. So very important that the Max emphasize taking care of the basketball.
As we saw, a little offense-defense with Effie Freundlich and Max Zackheim. This possession we see it with Effie Freundlich and Orsanjevsky as Orr goes to the bench with 4 fouls. Kiss 2 Miles fell, lost the ball, and they're going to call a jump. With, I believe, possession will stay with Manhattanville.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like 2 players have slipped on that side of the court, so it needs to be taken care of. Hopefully they dry it up. It looks like they're doing that right now. You got to make sure you're careful about those situations, making sure the court is dry and not wet in those spots.
Yeah, it was a little rainy and wet outside today with all the fans walking back to their seats, which is very important. Could be very dangerous if the court is a little slippery, as they're actually going to send both teams to the bench here while they work on that issue. So,
yeah, anytime a player goes down, he's hurt, he falls on the floor, especially in the fourth quarter of the game where you know he's going to be sweaty, you know there's going to be moisture, for lack of a better word. You've got to make sure that that area is contained, it's cleaned up, it's dry, it's safe to run on. Because the last possession we saw, St. Louis slipped on that play. It looks like he's okay, but those situations you have to be very careful of.
And so looking overall at this game, we got 2:19 to go. Yeshiva 72, Manhattanville 62. What have we seen from Yeshiva in the second half that really helped them pull away from Manhattanville?
Yeah, the half-court defense has been sensational. They've been able to recover on any closeouts, being able to stay in front of their man. I like that we're seeing Steinmetz wrinkle his defense a little bit, throwing a little bit of a 1-3-1, 2-3, trying to keep Manhattanville on his toes and never a chance for them to get comfortable offensively, and that's allowed them to get this lead late in the second half. As for the final few minutes of this game, taking care of the basketball, we've said it before, we're going to have to continue to articulate it, because in these last 2 minutes, if the Macs do not take care of the basketball, Manhattanville is in good position to steal this game, even with a 10-point lead. So the Macs, you got to do whatever it takes to take care of the basketball. If you do that, you're likely to get fouled, and then it comes down to making free throws. If you do those 2 things, you should win this basketball game. But you've got to execute on those 2 aspects.
Want to receive Max news and updates? Join our WhatsApp group chat. The link to join is in the description of this video. As we see, Mendy Konopsky came back from serving in Gaza for the IDF. Now he's serving for YU Athletics, cleaning this floor, making sure people are safe, both in Israel and in America. We thank him for his service.
Yeah, I mean, we don't love a delay, but the refs are doing a good job making sure that this court is safe and playable for the last 2 minutes of the game. The last thing you want to see is a player slip on that spot again and hurt his knee, hurt his ankle. Those are all things we've seen happen at every level. So the refs are doing the right thing, making sure that it's fully safe, even if it means a little bit of a delay.
I want to give a shout out to all the people that are covering for me at this farm sale. With being CEO, I wasn't sure if I was able to make it tonight. My team was like, no, don't worry, we got you. And I just want to give them a shout out for being able to cover for me so that I can be here with you guys calling this game. And thankfully, it's been a real thriller.
And apparently, it looks like we might have, unconfirmed, but we might have an issue from the roof of the ceiling, a little bit of a leak. That's not confirmed, but it's possible. We've experienced that in this gym before. Hopefully that gets cleaned up pretty soon.
As the refs now go in order to talk to Coach Steinmetz and Coach Alessi, figure out what's going on. I'd also like to give a shout out to my cousin and #1 Max fan, Ellie Rochelsman. I don't know if he's still up watching this game, but even if he's not, big shout out to him and to his father, my cousin Moshe. And with this delay, it looks like we're going to send it to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Honestly, I think that people should be learning about Jewish civilization in public school. I don't understand why they're not. Because the reality is, and if you look at a high school history textbook, what does it say about Jews? There's probably a chapter at the end that says they died in the Holocaust. Like, that's the only place where they're only in the book in the mass grave. And you might say, well, there's a lot of people who aren't in that book, except that Judaism is foundational to Western civilization. Like, you can't understand Western civilization without understanding Judaism. Who are Jews? We are a joinable tribal group. Joinable is important. Joinable tribal group with a shared history, homeland, and culture. Part of the culture is a non-universalizing religion. What I just said is like a paragraph in English. In Hebrew, it is one word that is 2 letters long, Am. We are Am Yisrael. That is who we are.
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. As it looks like we're just about ready to go and continue this game. Talked it over with the coaches, the referees, and the floor staff. Seems we're good to go. As that's inbounded to Orsinchevsky. Now up to Roy. Roy almost got trapped. Taken in on Marinaccio. And that gets pickpocketed by Latito. So Eitan hustling back, and Latito with the layup. Zakheim has it. He has Samit down court. If he sees him, he does. And Samit with the easy layup.
Yeah, and going back to that last turnover by Roy, what you can't do when a team is trapping you is spin. Once you turn your back to the defender, that's when you become most vulnerable, most susceptible to turnovers. But they're not able to answer on the other end.
It's a good shot contest by Orr to force the miss. Zakheim with it now. Max finds Zevi. Very smart of Zevi not to shoot it. Let the clock run out. Up double digits with just about 1.5 to go. Now he pulls the 3, and that's no good. Latito for 3, and he can get his to go. Now it's a 7-point game. Zakheim getting stuck. Wonder if Coach Steinmetz is going to take a timeout. Max break it. Zevi Samit with it, and he'll just milk the clock a little bit here. Zevi playing so intensely the yarmulke fell off. Let's see if that affects his gameplay. So Eitan over to Orr. Orr takes him inside. Can't get the layup, but I'll at least get 2 free throws.
Yeah, the Max, again, they call a little bit of a break. They've been over-dribbling against the press, and when a team is pressing and trapping, the last thing you want to do is try to dribble through it. Doesn't matter how fast you are, doesn't matter how good of a ball handler you are, you want to keep your eyes open and try to beat the press with the passing, because if you're getting trapped, a double team, there's a guy open. And we saw that with Sammy on the other end, getting to the layup to go. But the Max need to keep their eyes up and try to beat this press by passing, not by dribbling.
It's going to be key for the Max to play smart down the stretch. Coach Steinmetz usually likes to have senior leader Adi Markovic, but between the injury and 4 fouls, they're not going to push him out here. That's 7 to go. Manhattanville's got to do something quick, as that's going to be a foul on the floor. I believe they're going to call that on Max Zakheim, and they do. That's going to send Manhattanville to the line for a 1-and-1. Not the worst strategy for the Max.
Yeah, in this situation, 2 things you can't have: turnovers and fouls. What fouls do is they stop the clock and allow Manhattanville or the opponent to get back into the game with the clock stopped. Slowly chip away at the lead. 45 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're going to foul them and turn the basketball over, this lead can be evaporated in an instant.
And Latino misses the second. Sinjevsky rebound. Forward to Roy. Roy slows it down. Zakheim with it. He gets doubled. And he gets it into Roy. Nice pass. Zevi thought about the 3. Pulled up again. And just again, another really smart play by Zevi Samit. Really wants to shoot the ball. Is able to hold it.
Yeah, you said it, absolutely. The whole stand stood up once he had that look. And, you can feel the temptation to shoot that three. But understanding on that situation, that's not the right thing, not the best thing for the team. Take a couple seconds, draw the foul. He's got 2 free throws.
And Samet hits the first, extending this to a 7-point lead. It's now 3 possessions. 32.6 to go. Obviously, it ain't over till it's over, but time definitely running out for Manhattanville. Now down 7, potentially 8. And Yeshiva's going to call a timeout, but we're going to keep it here.
Yeah, I really like that timeout by Steinmetz. It allows his team to catch their breath, get set on the defensive end, because if they can work some clock here and get a stop, that's going to put, I don't want to say the dagger in this game, but pretty close to it.
As now with 8-point deficit for Manhattanville. Obviously, they're going to give it their all, but it's going to be tough for them to come back. They're going to have to work quickly. If you're Coach Steinmetz, it's a smart job by him to kind of slow things down, force Manhattanville to come off of a set play. The Macs were getting a little bit burned on transition. Elliott calling the timeout to prevent all that from happening.
Yeah, let's see what Manhattanville does, what Coach Alessi draws up here. I'm thinking he's going to try to get the ball in his hands of Andrew St. Louis, Scanlon, or Tommy Latito. Try to get them an opportunity to shoot from beyond the arc. And I'm curious to see how he develops this play for a quick three-pointer. If I'm Manhattanville, I don't want to waste more than 5 to 7 seconds in trying to get this shot up.
As we'd like to thank everyone who made this production possible. Our executive director, Eitan Traurig, executive producer, Zevi Pancer, director, David Raviv, assistant producers, Matt Loren, Dovid Samson, Zeke Zwelling, and Avery Stepner, and our cameramen, Jared Lazarus, Shmuel Gopin, Moshe Register, and Yosef Bluth. As St. Louis to inbound, gives it to Latito. Freundlich slowing him down. Giordano with it. Giordano throws it over Latito, and that's a turnover. That may be it.
And that's just tremendous basketball awareness, coaching by Steinmetz. What he does is he puts Effie to guard the ball handler. That burns 5-6 seconds, and then that forces Manhattanville to rush, turn the ball over. That's just great coaching, a great use of timeout, and a great execution by Effie Freundlich.
As off the inbound, Manhattanville quickly fouls. And it's going to be Max Zackheim going to the line. Zackheim is 2 for 2 in this game. His free throw shots have really been something that he's been working on over the season. And on cue, he drills the first. As always, we thank our Max Live sponsors. If you would like to become a sponsor, email us at yumaxlive@gmail.com. or DM us on Instagram or Twitter. As St. Louis taking it down. Latito now. They got to do something quick. St. Louis chucks up a 3. No good. Rebound Freundlich, and Freundlich gets fouled. And with a 10-point deficit, Freundlich to the line, 13.2 to go.
Yeah, I mean, just a shout out to Effie Freundlich. Understanding his role on the team. He knows he's not there to score 20, 25 points, grab 15 rebounds, 10 assists. He's not looking for those numbers. He's looking to come in the game, play some great defense, get some big rebounds, and that's exactly what he does. And he's a big reason why the Macs are 13 seconds away from going to the Skyline Championship game.
And Effie Freundlich hits the shot as Coach Steinmetz looks to empty the bench a little bit. As we got Tom Beza, Ezra Siklik, Jacob Roden, and Ari Sklar coming in. It's a standing ovation from the crowd. We also did have our signature Misha Nechnas Adar before. Wanted to give a shout out to that as well.
It's great for them to get an opportunity to play, but just to give a shout out and just to highlight the Manhattanville team that they've gone to the bench. Tremendous group of players, Giordano, Latito, St. Louis, all those guys, tremendous players. Came up a little bit short, but a tremendous season nonetheless, and expect to see them back next year.
100%, and especially had some big wins this year. A big win against Farmingdale. They obviously beat Yeshiva at home we're able to close it out here, but
they fought back in this game, but it's not going to be enough.
Went down to as close as 2 points in the second half. Ezra Sicklick will dribble it out for the Max, as we will be moving on to Farmingdale for the Skyline Championship. Final score, Yeshiva Maccabees 80, Manhattanville Valiants 68. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with post-game interview with our player of the game and the post-game show when we come back.
Glimpse into the lives of 5 single modern Orthodox men and women navigating life, love, and religion in Jerusalem in the acclaimed television series from Israel, Traurig.
I see the metaphor of sports being very important in understanding the life of Jews in the United States. It's not so much who wins the game, but whether you're allowed to play the game, whether you're part of the group. And Marty Glickman's story is a way of studying the question of, do Jews fit in through the metaphor of sports?
JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, with a marvelous array of programming for anyone interested in Jewish life and the State of Israel. News, events, Jewish studies, movies. It's all on JBS, expanding Jewish understanding, celebrating all things Jewish.
And welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center, where we just saw Yeshiva take down Manhattanville in the Skyline Conference semifinals by a score of 80-68. Yeshiva will now move on to Farmingdale to play his championship game on Sunday afternoon. We would like to thank all of our partners, and a special thank you to JBS, our new television partner that is working with us to deliver Max Live to a nationwide television and streaming audience. We're now going to send it down to our third member of our crew, Mr. Sideline Suits himself, our sideline reporter, S.J. Tenenbaum, with our player of the game, Orson Jeffsky. S.J.?
Thank you very much, boys. Fans, I'm standing here with the player again, Mr. Orson Jeffsky. Or, before we get into the questions about the game, tell us a little bit about that moment right over there. You went over to 2 Chayalim with injuries, amputees, supported by the organization. The next step, tell us a little bit about that moment right over there.
I wanted to cry. It's amazing. They keep my family protected, they keep me protected, they keep my country protected. They give their life. I have nothing but love for them. Don't even know them. They are amazing.
How did it feel tonight? Player of the game, 15 points in 18 minutes, 4 rebounds, and 3 to 4 from three-point range. How does it feel to you as an Israeli to drop that kind of performance in front of them and in front of this packed Max house?
It feels amazing to play in front of Mac Lives again. My beautiful fans coming to watch us. I was injured. I missed 13 games. It's amazing. Full team again. They doubted us. Me and Max were hurt. We're still dancing. We're still dancing.
Tell us a little bit about the resiliency. Earlier in the season, you were out with a shoulder injury. You managed to not only come back, but put a performance like this, semifinal game against a huge rival, Manhattanville. Tell us about how you got that extra oomph out of yourself to put on a show tonight.
I didn't. My teammate got me. Shout out to Tom Beza, always pushing me. Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to Hilo. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Gav. They all push me every day in practice, on the bench. They're amazing.
Or what does this team have to do? You guys are going to the finals. You'll be playing at Farmingdale on Sunday. What does your team need to make sure to do in order to secure another Skyline Conference championship and head to the NCAA tournament?
Play our game. Just play our game. Get stops, cut, screen, play with the team, and we're going to win.
Short, sweet, to the point, or go celebrate with your teammates. Or Sanjovsky, anyone you want to shout out watching at home?
My mom, my dad, my girlfriend, all of Am Yisrael. I love you guys.
Am Yisrael Chai. Or Sanjovsky, player of the game. Back to you guys in the booth.
And thank you, SJ, for that. And just like we said, we will be on the road in Farmingdale, Sunday afternoon. Keep an eye on Max Live and YU Athletic socials for more details about that game and whether or not Max Live will be attending that game. But for now, signing off, Yeshiva 80, Manhattanville 68. I'm Yosef Silver for Ari Schaff. Have a great night.